Evening, it's the wrap up, Friday night, the end of another week, which can only mean that one thing. Yes, it's the Team Super Dad wrap up with myself, Jonnie Jensen, and Glenn, a dating dad. Roll theme.
Welcome to Team Super Dad. Real dads creating their best lives ever. More time, more money, more fun. You are not alone. You're on Team Super Dad.
Welcome. We are back. It's a Friday night this week, and really good to have you here with us. Glenn, good to see you, sir.
Good to be seen, Johnny. Good to be seen. It's been one hell of a week emotionally, work-wise, but not physically. I've kept my steps down just to compensate for the shit that's going on.
Kept your steps down. That's so you increase the stress levels and decrease the workout levels.
That's how it works, isn't it? It's like a graphic equalizer. You just got to make sure you don't have one at a time with the other. That's right, isn't it? Flow.
I'm not sure it's quite the right ideal of flow, but it will certainly do you okay for a couple of weeks. Yeah. So whether that change, everyone seems to be busy. Oh well, hold tight. Let's do the proper intro. It's great to have you here with us. It's the Team Super Dad wrap up. We do this every week. It's two dads chit-chatting, just like we're in the pub. We're catching up at the end of the week. We're chatting a bit of topical stuff, a fair amount of piss taking. And this week is no different. There is some topical subjects which shouldn't really be that funny, but you know, just like two men chit-chatting about the random things in the world, you do find the humor in it, and that's what we do on the wrap up. You might have heard in the week, what did we have this week? Oh, E.A. Solkovitz.
It's in the name.
That's his name, E.A. Solkovitz. Absolute dude. I'll tell you all about it in a second. But to any of the people listening, if you didn't hear that podcast, go back and catch it. The guy's a millionaire, 65-year-old total dude. And but that's what we do in the week. We do a serious one which taps into and supports you with your focus, fitness, finance, family, or fun. And then on the weekend, Friday night, Saturday morning, we do the wrap up, which is all about having some fun. So whether you're in the car, whether you're in the flipping garden, wherever you are, there might be some swearing. So let you know that in advance. And please, if you're watching, good to have you on board. You can share your comments, take the piss, say hello, whatever you like. And if you listen to the podcast, then great to have us in your ears. Please subscribe and leave us a review. Boom. TeamSuperdad.com. That's basically who we are. We're working with dads, helping them create their best lives ever. So if you're a dad, if you know a dad, and to be fair, if you're just a bloke who wants to come and be part of all this, then you are very, very welcome. Come on over to teamsuperdad.com/network, and you can join our free community, get all the good stuff. Tuesday lunchtimes, we do an hour's free training, coaching on all sorts of subjects. We do this. We've got firewalking coming up in September. Loads of good stuff. So come and get involved. And then, without further ado, let's get on with the wrap up. Glenn, good for you to sit there and listen to that every week.
Hey, I've been sitting in this chair for a lot of time this week. I had a quick look today. Within sort of 9 to 5 hours this week, I've had 54 hours worth of meetings booked in, and I don't know how much longer that's possible. I've got three things coming up on top of my normal job next week, each one of which is meant to take about 90% of my time. So I'm just having to say no to so much. It pains me because it's always the stuff you want to do that you have to turn down.
True, but in the almost immortal words of Guinness Book of Records, not Norris McWhirter. Who was the guy, the trumpet player?
Roy Castle.
Roy Castle. Delegation. That's what you need.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I'm trying to get more people on board. Just I need more staff. That's what I need. A lot more staff. The right staff, but more of them.
If you want to be the best and stand out from the rest, delegation's what you need. Or you have a heart attack.
Yeah. Did I see a bloke having a heart attack?
No. Did you ever?
Well, no, I haven't seen a bloke have an heart attack, but my old man did. So this is something I've got to be really careful on. He had a quadruple bypass when he was 42.
Oh,
So I've only got 2 more years, and I beat his score before my first one, whenever that is. But yeah, he lived a terrible lifestyle. I've got to say, much better now. But smoked 60 to 80 a day. Used to eat takeout most of the time. High pressure job, no exercise. Sort of man who one of his favourite treats would be after like grilling a load of pork chops, would just get some salt, sprinkle it over the pan, and then like use a bit of bread to soak it up and just eat that. That would be one of his treats. So yeah, he's much better these days. He's 6 sugars with his tea. That sort of bloke.
Still.
No, now it's none. No sugar. No. He's retired. He retired at 54 or something like that. No smoking, and he only drinks when England or Spurs are playing.
Wow.
Don't get me wrong. He makes up for it.
Yeah,
but, yeah. He's not anywhere like he used to. Much healthier.
You go round. Sky Sports turns on. He's smoking, drinking.
Yeah, he's 61 now. So he's got another 20 odd years out of this so far, and long may it continue. But yeah, there was that bloke. You're talking about the bloke on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen this, it's just a guy. I saw it via the New York Times, and basically he was at work, and he was started having a heart attack, a proper heart attack, and he knew what it was. And the first things that went through his mind wasn't, I'm never going to see my wife again, or my kids and all that sort of stuff. It was, in his words, I'll read it out. Fuck, I needed to meet my manager tomorrow. This isn't convenient. How am I actually going to secure the funding for this project? And shit, I haven't updated my will. So how is that the first things that flash through your mind?
I can understand the will bit, because that's what you do remember. Like, you think, you remind yourself to do something, and then 3 weeks later you go, oh, I didn't do the renew my insurance or change the tax or pay that parking ticket or whatever, and you think, oh, it was yesterday, and you go and look and you go, oh, that was 3 weeks ago. Are you kidding me? But yeah, here 213,000 when last time I looked, 213,000 likes or clicks, or
260 now. It's amazing, and the thing is that it's worth having a quick look, because he's come up with a load of six rules that he's basically going to change his life with. He's not spending all day on Zoom anymore. I feel that. I absolutely feel that. He's restructuring his approach to work. Not going to put up with any more shit at work again. Life's too short, which I think is true. We do put up with a lot of shit day to day. So sometimes it is worth about saying, you know what, I don't need this. I'm logging out. It's going to lose some weight, 15 kilograms. So, that's sizable. Wants every day to count for something at work, or he's changing his job. And weirdly, the last one he's put would probably be my first. It's I want to spend more time with my family. So all of his were still around kind of work things. And I think he's on the right. Yeah, I think he's on the right path, but he's still got a way to go for me.
To all our American listeners and viewers, and plus all my family in Chicago, so I do feel like I have a point of reference with Americans, but they're a little bit upside down with the work stuff, because they get like half a day off a year or something. It's not in their DNA to not work. So that's probably where that comes from. But yeah, I didn't even see that until you mentioned it and someone else shared it with me. But I wrote a post today, and it was called the You Life Balance. Rather than work-life balance, I called it the You Life Balance. So focus on you and focus on your life. So you make sure you've got enough time you're dedicating to you, so that you can be the best version of you for every other part of your life. Because if you don't give enough time to yourself, how can you possibly give the rest of yourself to everything else? Which,
yeah, I agree. And you need, no matter how much we want to be there for other people, if you're not whole, if you're not sorted yourself, you can't give yourself. And even if you're only giving yourself a fraction to other people, actually it's like the Facebook thing of you don't want a bigger slice of the pie, you just want the whole pie to be bigger, so that slice is bigger. And if all you're doing is trying to make everything else a big part of that pie, the pie shrinks and it's just less of it. So yeah, make the pie bigger, and you're the pie. Don't get fat. That's not what I'm saying.
You pie. I love that as a like. That's just a brilliant like put down, isn't it? You fucking pie.
I think you can make anything an insult if you like say the word absolute in front of it. So pick any random you absolute coat hanger. Yeah, it's an insult, you know. No matter what, you absolute floorboard. It works as an insult. I love it.
Yeah, and you can't really get in trouble for it. I might let my 11-year-old know about that as a possible. I was talking to one of the mums in the park. Her boy's in the year above mine, so he's at secondary school, and I don't know. This is the weird bit. The school were like seeing the kids' text messages, so they would text each other talking about porn. Bearing in mind they're in year 7, so they're about 12 or something. So
yeah.
he got hauled in. Or no, he didn't get hauled in. He had his phone taken off him for some other reason. Then the school were looking at the text message and saw all this chit chat about porn. So then they spoke to the mum. But he didn't actually know what it was, bless him. he just well, clearly someone had an older brother. That's what I'm thinking. Someone had an older brother, so he thinks he's in on the conversation. But he thought it was some kind of music. So he was talking about it like that, and not only did he get in trouble, but he probably looked a complete dick as well. So,
well, the thing is, if he didn't know before, he bloody does now.
He does, yeah. Well, I'm sure I must have done something like that when I was a kid. Surely I did. Pretended I knew something even though I didn't, and then got rumbled for it.
Hey, that's my career days. My career and my kind of dating life overlapped a little bit over the past day because I try and keep them separate. So I've got a work Twitter account and I've got my dating dad Twitter account.
A busy bastard. And a dating dad.
I wish I'd been that literate.
Yeah.
No, so my work one is just my normal name, and that's professional and all that sort of stuff. I've had it for years and so on, but I very rarely use it. And I use my dating dad one all the time because it's not anonymous, it's pseudo anonymous, but you know people know who I am, but equally it's not totally linked. So I'll just post any old shit on it. And I posted up something yesterday, just a throwaway thing as I normally do, about the fact that in work, as we're starting to go back into the office, and I'm going back into the office for the first time next week, everyone seems to be bringing their bloody dogs in. And loads of these people have bought dogs over lockdown. And these dogs have been with people 24/7. So through every bloody meeting, they're all jumping up and interrupting and barking and playing. And I don't dislike dogs. I just don't like them. You know, I don't actively like them. And every time some bloody dog gets on the screen, everyone stops. And you're expected to ask about the dog and talk about the play. I don't care about the dog. So I was like, am I the only one who isn't looking forward to going into an office and having a dozen dogs running around? Because that's what they're doing. And they're barking and fighting. And offices are not places for dogs in my mind. And
it's just the boss. Like the boss is allowed to bring their dog in, and there's like one dog.
If it's one dog, then that is bad, but it's not the end of the world. But anyone's allowed to bring their dogs in. And if everyone's got dogs and they're all used to having their dogs around them all the time, they're all taking their dogs in. And I just was, and most people were like, they didn't really like the idea of dogs in the office. Those who had dogs, not all of them. So yeah, most people didn't want them, but there's a small number who have dogs who just can't wrap their head around the fact that anyone doesn't like dogs. They're like, the only way I'm going back into the office is if there's a load of dogs. No, I can't believe anyone who hurt you, all this sort of shit. And somehow someone related to my real life saw it, commented on it, then someone else saw it and commented on it. And before I knew it, I'm now followed by the former head of the digital civil service, by the head of the Welsh local government digital service, and by founders and the most senior people out there who are all getting involved in this conversation. Loads of them started following me. I'm going to have to start soft blocking them because I can't have them. And
this is on your dating dad profile, whereas if it was on IT support profile, you'd have been loving it.
Wouldn't care at all. But when a post a couple of days earlier was just sharing the fact this is the longest I've ever been without sex in my life. That's not what you'd share on a professional account.
No, when you're having lunch with the head of the civil service and their digital transformation process.
So yeah, I've got to work out what I'm going to do with that one. I'm hoping it dies down and the hundreds of people commenting and whatever just stop.
Oh, dogs, blimey! Is it a thing? I mean, if you're listening, let us know. Let's. Is that a thing? Is now just everyone's thinking that? What if you suddenly want to take your cat in?
Exactly. Or why do you get to take a support dog in? Why can't I take my support tarantula or my support llama? Where's the difference?
And what size dogs are we talking? Are we talking chihuahuas or outside?
Literally everything from handbag dogs right up to horses. It seems they've got because dogs are just so varied, and everyone's just bringing them in, and they just don't see a problem. And the thing is, as well, they're like, oh yeah, we'd check and make sure everyone's all right with it. Who's going to be the person to say, you know what? I don't want dogs in the office. No one's going to be that person. And so you're forcing dogs in an area where they've got no place in terms of business. They don't add anything to the day. At best, they're a distraction in the office. And realistically, they're going to be pissing everywhere. You're going to be getting up, walking. They're going to be barking and fighting. And just no. Just don't do it.
I'm lost for words. It's not often I'm lost for words, but I didn't. That's how out of touch I am with an office environment. Blimey. Well, in terms of talking about a touch, my boy, this conversation's come via his mum, really, but they're talking about bike. He's going to ride his bike to school. There's some conversation about riding his bike to school.
Has he done his cycling proficiency?
Well, he's in the year 6, so it is coming up basically. But I've been riding with them on the roads probably since he was about 6 or 7. Basically, he's more of a plonker now on the roads than he was back then. Can't believe it. 11. He's a mong about most things. He doesn't mean it. It's just his brain's gone from a highly developed child's brain to a completely bowl of mush teenager brain. But, yeah, I was like, I mean, I did ride my bike to school a few times when I was a kid, but the social part of going to school, that's bloody brilliant. I mean, how could I think she's concerned that bullying and some other stuff that might go on the bus, but I'm like, that's for starters. I made loads of friends on the bus, and it also was 35 years ago, but it's a rites of passage.
They had buses back in your day, yeah?
Yeah, buses, yeah, totally. Horse-drawn. Says you from London. How did you get to school up in London?
Buses, you were lucky. We had to crawl on our hands and knees through the mud 3 times a day, 20 miles.
Got dropped off once you'd done your chimney sweeping round.
Yeah, when Fagan let us go.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like kids, you got to go to school on the bus. Or I mean, America, on your TV programs, and they get on those yellow buses, and there seems to be a whole hierarchy of and kids or Simpsons and the bus driver. We got the train for a bit, we got the bus for a bit. I wrote on the window of the bus once, Martin Creed is a dick. And then about 3 days later, Martin Creed and his mate came up to me and my mate in town, and he was a lot shorter than me, older than me, but a lot shorter. And he goes, I heard you wrote Martin Creed's a dick on the bus window. And I said, I did actually. And then he punched me in the head. But it was only one punch, and it kind of got me behind the back of the ear. So because he had to sort of like jump up and and I took it. It didn't, it was just hilarious. These kind of moments, I think obviously some mums would hear that and they'd be horrified, but that to me is just, a bit like Ghostbusters. If someone asks you if you're a god, you say no. If someone said, "Am I a dick on them?" But then I did write it, and It was something to do with a girl, in fairness, and I do know it was something to do with a girl called Louise. So, but
I used to. I had a bus ride to school, but it was on that cusp of distance. So it was just a bit too far to walk normally. But I didn't have much money. And so I knew my mum my nan was my school chef. So that sort of covered the food. But she give us 70p a day for bus fare. Was it 70p? Yeah, about 70. So 40p in the morning, 30p on the way home. That's what it was. This was old days, you know. And I realised that if I wanted to buy books for myself, because I was a massive nerd, then if I walked to and from school, I walked past this little secondhand like antique shop type thing. And so I realised if I was saving money, you can buy a book for 70p, 99p or something like that. Trouble is, the little old lady who ran it, she mistook me for someone else. So who really loved books by, was it Alistair MacLean or something like that? Some like World War II writer. And so she'd save these books whenever she got given them. And me being me, I was too polite. So I ended up buying these books. And I had to read them because then when next time I went in there, she'd ask me what the book was like. How was it? Was it nice and lovely? So I had all these fucking World War II books on my shelf that I'd read. I had no interest in them.
And you never sold them?
At what point did I not? No, at what point was it like, that's not me. That's somebody else.
Oh, one of my dad's wife number 4, she got wind that I like liver and bacon. And bloody hell, did she make me liver and bacon?
Why don't we just leave it in a bun?
Oh, brilliant! Some more, yeah, okay, brilliant. I mean, it was like I've already got like 3 in the freezer from last time. Okay, so the lesson we can learn from today's show so far is don't have a heart attack, and do have the balls to tell random women in your life who think you are either into something or enjoy something that you don't.
And just realise that if you don't go to hospital for the first one, you'll go to hospital as a result of the second.
And you can fit your own words into that sentence to fit to go. Basically, yeah. I'm doing a duathlon on Sunday, Glenn. A duathlon.
What is a duathlon? Is it where you duel with pistols at dawn whilst doing a marathon?
Yeah, that was what it was. I got challenged earlier this week to with the gloves, and yes, me and the Duke of Westmoreland will be no, actually a run, a bike ride, and then a run. So,
so there's 3 legs of this.
Yeah,
but it's a duel.
It's no, because a triathlon would be the swim, cycle, run.
Yeah, but you only do 1 run, 1 bike, 1 swim. Why is a duathlon not bit of a swim, bit of a run?
Because I guess that wouldn't be too much of a physical challenge.
You reckon?
Or, well, no, I guess it takes the format of a triathlon, except it's only got 2 sports in. So, well, either there is an answer to this, which our friends at Google have cunningly worked out a way for us to find them on the internet, or we don't care, basically. But, but yeah,
what's your favourite bit of it? What are you best at?
The running. I love running. I mean, it's not enjoyable. Clearly, none of these things are that enjoyable.
Why do it? Why do it then?
I love the mental and physical battle. I feel like as it's burning, and I'm like, come on, push harder, push harder.
Come on, sit down. That voice is in the back of my head all the time. It's quite nice.
Yeah, I get that voice all the time. When I sitting down to work and I'm tired, or it's like I do get that voice. But so the voice in my head is strong on both sides. The Darth Vader and Luke. But yeah, which I prefer most. I don't know. I don't. Well, when I did a triathlon, I swam in the sea. There's something fun about the start when you're all in the water and you just kind of like clawing over each other and you get a kick in the face, and that's quite exciting. Well, I tell you, actually, I thought that was exciting. Last time I did one of those starts was about 10 years ago. So it's funny how things aren't quite as fun when you're 46 as when you were 36. Apart from sex.
That never gets old. I'm guessing as you get older, it gets a bit more surprising, though.
No, I'm
It's like,
fully.
that still works. Still works.
I'm fully back in the swing. Fully back in the swing now.
You've got a swing.
Yeah. The swing is back up. Yeah. I never got a swing, although I wouldn't rule out a swing. Someone did tell me something remarkable this week. He said, "Oh, I had a date with a she-male the other night," and I was like, "Oh, blimey."
I mean, that's not a sentence you often hear.
It wasn't. I said, well, I've just got a girlfriend for the first time after 5 years. So it's been a week. It's definitely been a week for both of us. But it was interesting, just different people's kind of. Fits in the same subject. Is an interest about doing things you haven't done before, an interest in feeling challenged and excited by the possibilities of life. And this guy, I tell you, he's crazy and a good guy, but like there's an extremeness to him that is irresistible,
Okay.
But clearly to all sorts of people. But yeah, when we'd be at festivals and stuff, he'd be like the last man standing, and there'd still be people going up to him and saying, "Oh, how's it going?" Like, yeah, do you mean like he'd just be like the Pied Piper, basically. So yeah, so on the duathlon thing, these kind of experiences they appeal to me. One of the guy I had on the podcast, Anthony Willoughby, he's an explorer. Goes and hangs out with nomadic tribesmen, and he's going to be. He's coming up. I don't know if he said it's his 70th birthday or his 75th birthday. He's become very active on LinkedIn recently, and so he's doing a 3-month trek across Mongolia and whatever the country is next to Mongolia, and he's inviting people to go with him. And I was like, "Oh yeah, brilliant! I'd love to do that." And he goes, "It is 3 months." And I was like, "Shit, who's going? Can you imagine?" You get as much time.
Firstly, I do.
Yeah, you could just go.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Not only do I get as much time off as work as I want, also after 3 years and after 5 years, I get sabbaticals, and they pay for my family to go on holiday. So what I could do is, when that happens, just find someone else to take the kids, and then I'll fuck off to Mongolia. Everyone's a winner.
And they're gonna be trekking and camping and like flipping Bedouin tents and
that sounds cool.
Yak's milk and probably a bit like cowboys getting really pissed around a fire and throwing rocks and shooting guns. And that's one of the reasons I want to retire early, is so that I'm still young enough to be able to do that sort of shit. Well, yeah, time's ticking though, Glenn. I've got to be honest. You're 40.
I am 40. Yeah. I'm 6 months into my 40th year, and I'm not best pleased about that fact.
Are you going to have a Blip 40th birthday?
Yeah. I've told you about my 40th and my Gatsby themed party.
Well, I know we've spoken about the Roaring 20s being the roaring post-lockdown. Everyone goes,
yeah,
wild.
But
is that what you're doing?
Even before all this, I'd already decided that my 40th was going to be a Great Gatsby themed party, and what I want is for my party to be one of those parties that kind of goes down in legend as really like, this is the way you do it. And I was going to be getting some sort of London venue, live, like jazz bandy type stuff, doing modern covers. I was going to get food, and it was all fancy dress, and it was going to be just. Can it end
in a mashed potato fight, a la Bugsy Malone? Can we do it?
I wouldn't have been averse to that. But it was just going to be it's just going to be something that's really, really good. And I'm still going to do that, but I can only do it when I can guarantee that everyone I want can turn up, and that hotels are open, because everyone's it'll be in London somewhere, and people won't want to be going back all over the country or into other countries and so on. They've just got to be able to stay where they are.
Dude, that would be the perfect ending, right? As we get into like the last half hour, 20 minutes, they just
guns
come round with platters of mashed potato and the odd splurge.
could have been anything that we wanted to be.
And some people wouldn't get it, and the rest wallop.
But yeah, so that's what I'm definitely going to be doing for my birthday this year. If not this year, then definitely next. Whenever it's going to be, my 40th birthday is going to be celebrated, even if I'm going to be 41, 42 at the time.
Yeah. It's going to be brilliant. Loads of stuff like that. Thing like the Blip. I think more people should be talking about the Blip. I said it the other day. I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, Avengers, Endgame, 2020. Like, we're going to I want my 2020 back. I'm owed. There's things I'm owed, basically. Things I'm owed. Glenn's birthday.
So watch this space. And I am going to be inviting just random cool people. I'm not talking about Robert Downey Jr. Just there's going to be a load of people on Twitter who want to come along, and sort of people I've never met in real life. And so I just want, as long as people are dressed up and their names on the list, then they can come in.
Be brilliant.
You got to come along, and you got to bring Patricia with you.
I know Sally will be well up for that. She loves a party.
Fancy dress though, 1920s.
No, dude, we've totally nailed it. The ending bit, because I've only been having this idea this week. I said to my son, we were driving down to where were we going? Oh, I think we were going to Tina's actually. I said, I've got this idea for a business. It's going to be a kids' party, because like kids' party things always make money, right? But it will be the idea is you go for dinner, and then it descends into a food fight. So the party is a food fight. So everyone talks about it. You go there and literally you play musical chairs, pass the parcel, they bring the food out, and then they just bring loads of food. The only intention is that you just throw it at each other and have a massive food fight. And then once the party's over, that you go in, you hose down all the walls, and bosh, in come the next lot.
Yeah, the trouble is when you're serving soup, it just doesn't work as well.
I don't know. We could have. I just think kids would love it. I think you'd be stacked. You'd never be short of customers.
All I can see is cocktail sausage sticks poking out of people's eyes, and kids with a chicken nugget up their nose. Nothing like a normal day, but
it would have to be throwing appropriate food for throwing at others. I think it's a good idea. If you want to bring your kid to a party venue that ends in a food fight, which is basically what you're saying for your birthday anyway, so it's gonna be brilliant. We're gonna make it this time next year.
I'm going to have to give the bouncers special kind of instructions to watch out for you turning up with this kind of what looks like a guitar case, walking in through the front door. Just no, mate, we're going to have to check that at the door.
A modified Nerf gun for mashed potato. Well, do you see there's a submarine has gone missing this week, Glenn? It's a bunch of Indonesians have crashed their submarine in the sea. I know it's not very funny, right? But I just
my telly's just turned on. I think this is the power of the submarine. I'm going to go on mute for a second while I shut that up. So yeah, you keep chatting.
I'll fluff this up. So it's and I don't know why I thought it was funny, but you hear them talk about this submarine, and they kept saying it's old, it's really old. So in my mind, I imagine this kind of like wooden submarine that's pumped. You have to pump the air in it and stuff. But then when I went and looked it up, it's a little bit sadder than that. But surely there's a process for if a submarine goes down, like bits of stuff float up to the top, or I mean, if you can fire a missile from a submarine, surely you can fire a flare, a dinghy. Have you ever seen what's that Tom Hanks movie? Shipwrecked. It's the most epic start to a film. The plane's like, and it hits the sea.
So what you're saying is the Indonesian Navy doesn't have enough Wilsons.
Well, what you got to do is because I've worked, if ever I'm on a plane that's going to crash, I know what to do now. you wrap the life vest around you, and that at a strategic moment, as the plane dives into the sea, you pull the thingy bob, which inflates the life jacket, and you bob up to the top, become the only survivor of the terrifying ordeal of a plane crash at sea.
I'm absolutely certain it's that easy.
It happened in a movie, right? It must be. I've been watching more episodes of that Last Man on Earth program. Oh,
Good, isn't it?
It is dark, but it is good. It's so funny. I watched an episode last night, and the two new women. So for anyone who's not watched it, this guy he thinks he's the last man on earth because this virus has killed everyone, and he drives around America and he keeps painting on road signs, "I'm alive" in Tuscan. And so now, after like 2.5 years, whatever, random people are popping up in Tuscan. But sadly for him, spoiler alert, sadly for him, he chose to marry the first woman that turned up. She wasn't.
And then is it January Jones turns up second?
The blonde one.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's stunning.
The wife from Mad Men.
Oh, I've not seen. Oh, I do know Mad Men. I'm not watching that.
But if you were the last man on earth like him, and he could choose anywhere to live and say, "Look, I'm alive in X," where would you choose to live?
Well, he went back to where he came from, didn't he?
Yeah. But why? You can live anywhere. Anywhere.
Well, anywhere in America, because he wouldn't want to sail across the Atlantic and stuff.
Mm-hmm. But he's got North and South America.
True. So maybe a bit.
And we
Brazil.
Yeah, I mean, we could, if you really wanted to, you could get over to mainland Europe, couldn't you? You'd find a way of doing that. Drive down to Dover. There must be like a boat, or you could probably bloody swim it.
Yes and no, I couldn't swim it, but yes, I would risk at an appropriate time of year a channel crossing to France if I was the last man alive. But that's very different than a transatlantic crossing.
True, but where would you live if you were last man on Earth?
Well, California, obviously, you got access to mountains to go skiing. You've got the sea. You've got Napa Valley wine. My brother actually pretty much lives like that in France at the moment. Lake Annecy, the mountains for skiing. I think I would go and put myself somewhere that had mountain and sea, sun. Yeah, something like that, basically.
I thought that I might pop over to Paris and go and stay in the Louvre. So I thought that's like a grand, cool place. And you can spend like days and days, weeks and months just wandering around the Louvre. Then I realised, knowing my luck, while I was in one of the rooms, kind of the anti-theft lockdown alarms would shut, all the blinds would close and the doors would slam, and I'd be fucking locked in there.
That is a curiously deep level of thought about something that started off quite fun.
Yeah, I've thought this. So you've got to think these things through. Where are you going to go for the last minute? Where are you going to go for the zombie apocalypse? You need plans. Fail to plan to fail.
Oh, there's loads of things. I watched a program. I watch a program. I've got it on record. Abandoned Engineering.
Oh, I love that sort of show.
That's brilliant. You've got all these mad places that have just been abandoned, like a town in America. It used to be a mining town, and then the train stopped going through there, and the town dried up. Some mad tunnel bunker thing that the Nazis built in the middle of the mountains somewhere. A sea in Russia that dried up because the Russians diverted the water. This is true. The Russians said, "Oh, we're going to send the water that goes to that sea. We're going to send it over there because they're farming stuff, and we need the water for all the farm stuff." They just dried up the sea.
Mad, isn't it?
Mad.
But the abandonment of these places fascinates me. It really, really does, because these places would have taken a lot of effort to build, and for a while they would have been people's lives, tens, dozens, hundreds, thousands of people focused on an area, a town, a city, a facility or something that was just like there, and then it's not. Then no one cares about it. Like, what? I remember going to. Have you been to the secret nuclear bunker in Essex near Braintree? I think it is.
No, was it like a war thing or?
Yeah, well, there's big signs that say secret nuclear bunker this way, and it was a 1960s, 70s, 80s underground bunker. And you're thinking for years and years and years, this was one of the most strategic. This was where prime ministers would have gone if nuclear war happened, and for hundreds of soldiers and all this sort of stuff. And they don't need it anymore. So you're allowed to go in there. They've kind of got some dodgy mannequins, and you just wander around, like hanging out in.
Is it good for a Gatsby birthday party?
It would be perfect for a Gatsby birthday party. They wouldn't let me, but absolutely it would be perfect for a party.
A full-on rave.
Yeah. And no one would hear because you're all underground.
Oh, perfect. We need an outlet for our rave culture. That could be perfect. It's just not enough space for rave. I'm part of a group on Facebook called 90s Ravers, right? It's huge. It's like 40,000 people. So busy, proper busy group. And it's been funny because recently a couple of people have posted things like, I don't know, toilet blocked, shit flowing over the top. I've tried to flush it. What do I do? Right? So about 5 or 6 people try to help, and then everyone else wades in and goes, "What are you doing? This is not what I'm for. Take your toilet tips and piss off somewhere else."
That being said, genuinely, I was watching something recently where I was probably a TikTok or something. Plumbers are raking it in because everyone's at home using their own toilets all day, every day, rather than going into the office and using the industrial ones. So everyone's plugging their toilets up and breaking stuff, and you can't get a plumber for love nor money because they're just absolutely overworked.
It has never been a better time to be a tradesman, to have a trade, because a bit of furlough, not bad. Well, they've probably got a load of jobs to do by their missus, so their house is their house is looking great. Now they're pleased to be back out of work. They're rushed off their feet, charging loads probably. Supply and demand. I'll let them have that. Would you advise your kids to have a trade? I think there's a lot to be said for having a trade. I think absolutely. Look, it's not going away either. Electrician. Every car is going to be electric. People should. That's got to be a good trade, surely. Be electrician.
Oh yeah, my next door neighbour's a Sparky, and he's just busy constantly. It's one of those things where, like you said, because everyone goes and sits and works on computers, and they think all the kids these days want to be YouTubers. Where is that next generation of actual practical people coming from?
Plumbers, yeah. I tell my boy, my boy's not going to be a plumber. Can't get him to piss in a toilet. In the water, or just sit down. Come on. Oh, Glenn, well, I tell you, it wouldn't be a week. We need to talk about the football a little bit, because it's just been, if you're listening and you're not into football, then tough shit, basically. But it's been the maddest week of my footballing life. And this is not just about Spurs here, but Spurs' level of madness within this week has been brilliant. We're in that group together, and was it you that shared the thing about Monday?
Yeah.
Monday, drew 1-1 again, or lost. Tuesday, 6 of the clubs decide to form their own league. Randomly, Tottenham are in it. Sack the manager.
It was. And that's the thing. Jose Mourinho is one of the biggest managers of ever, and us getting rid of him, it wasn't even the biggest story of the week. He was behind Spurs being mugged off by the Dulux dog. Dropping leads against rivals and all that sort of stuff, and then fucking European Super League bullshit. What the fuck is that all about?
Did you see the quote or the press release? Was it JP Morgan today?
No, I haven't seen today.
I think it was JP Morgan or KPMG. I'm pretty sure it was JP Morgan. You have to Google it up, right? They were the people. They were the company that they chose to put the legal documents together. And today they tried to distance themselves from it by saying they would never have got involved if they'd realised what level of upset that it would have brought. But it was it was like you'd pulled the apology out of a cracker kind of thing, because or Viz. It was like Viz had written the apology basically.
Yeah, apparently we clearly misjudged how this deal would be viewed by the wider footballing community and how it might affect them in the future. But the scary bit is they say, we will learn from this. That's a fucking threat, isn't it?
Yeah. Next time, we'll get it right. Next time.
I mean, from Spurs' perspective, I can't understand it because, we're one of the rich clubs. But how the fuck have we got in with that sort of a group? That's mental.
Oh, it's all the American stuff. And this to me is the interesting part about the chit chat, is that you've got basically a group of American owners now who are very powerful in European sport. So the idea that they would put millions, let alone billions, into a club, and then that club could get relegated or might not qualify for next year's competition. Like, imagine like they own a baseball team, and then someone goes, sorry, man, we had a bit of a bad season. We're not going to be in the World Series next year. Sorry.
Yeah.
They'll be like, what are you talking about? I literally, TalkSport had a couple of Americans on this week, and they were literally going, what are you talking about, Wilson? What are you talking about? They were like, you mean in Europe you can you lose, you get relegated, you do what's rele what? It just couldn't.
And I just can't comprehend a world where relegation and promotion aren't naturally part of it, where it's all protected. I can intellectually, I can understand why they think it's a good idea, yet the entire rest of the world understands it is not a good idea. And it just, I think that was the only element about the whole thing that outraged me. The big European clubs getting together and coming up with an alternative to the Champions League. You know what? I don't care about. That's fine. You go off and do that thing, whether it was for real or whether it was just for negotiating position, but it was the closed shop thing. That was the thing that just, I've never seen football fans united like that. Oh, never.
Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher basically have loving about it. Gary Neville talking about how amazing Liverpool fans are, and Gary and Jamie Carragher talking about Alex Ferguson in kind of glowing terms.
And I love that Jordan Henderson called a meeting of all the captains.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have. For me, in my head, I envisaged it. Like the Warriors movie. Where they all turn up in their colours in New York, and I could just imagine them all kind of rocking up, and with Harry Kane and Hugh Lloris and a couple of their mates, all in their uniforms and club colours.
Scousers in their tracksuits, yeah.
Liverpool, come out to play. It was just mad, and to be announced out of the blue, and then to make such a massive problem. Jose Mourinho is the only manager in history to be fired from a European Super League club, by the way.
Yeah, they were in, he was out, and then we were out.
And I wouldn't, there's still part of me that thinks Daniel Levy just got involved in European Super League so that you could kind of hide the Jose Mourinho muddle and mess. Or he fired Jose just so that he would look like a good guy. How can you fire Jose and still come out of a week looking like a wanker?
I don't know. It's just. We'll come back to that point, but one point that did flipping startle me: they made allowance for 4 teams who would qualify based on previous success in the Champions League. So if you were a top team and you had a bad season, but you've been in the Champions League previously, then you would be invited in. So basically,
that's the Champions League revamp. That's what we're going back to.
No way.
So the European Super League said they're going to have 5 positions open to domestic competitions to go into. They never actually got round to specifying how that would work. but it was 15 core teams that would always be in it, and then 5 teams that would be invited. So basically, they'd pick and choose who the most profitable ones, probably. But the new Champions League format involves the leagues, the little playoffs within the leagues, but it's not just done on domestic status. It's also done on previous UEFA coefficients. So absolutely, there's no way that Real Madrid, Juventus, Barcelona, Man United, those clubs will always be in this now, because once you're in it, it's almost harder to get kicked out of it than it is to not stay in it.
Yeah, so they're just paying lip service to these American. Sorry, it's not all about American owners, but Kroenke, is he American as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, he is American as well. Okay, but they're paying lip service to these guys who are saying, it's so funny actually when you realise it's like this. They're saying, well, we don't like the fact that you can't naturally qualify. It's like buying a house next to an airport and then starting a petition about the noise of airplanes.
Exactly that. Yeah.
I can't believe how loud this is. This is outrageous. This must stop. They're flying over at all times a day. I didn't realize, I thought they'd fly over once or twice a day. I didn't realize it would be noisy all day long. I mean, this is outrageous. And they're so loud. I mean, like, do you know how low they are?
Loud and low is how many of those American owners are currently viewed.
Absolutely bonkers. So that four club flipping backdoor thing is the new Champions League.
That's the proposals, yeah.
Football's fucked. Football is fucked, basically.
Yeah, and my worry now is because they saw off this Super League. Now they must think that gives them a mandate of support for these new Champions League proposals, when they are every bit as bad and every bit as rubbish. But everyone thinks, because we got rid of the Super League, that's fine. Don't worry about it. We've won. Yeah, we haven't won. If it wasn't for that, we'd all be looking at this Super League revamp, this Champions League revamp, saying, how crap is that?
Yeah. Well, hopefully that'll happen. To be fair, the footballers are annoyed as well, which is good to see that they're actually piping up as well. A bunch of players today. Gundogan had a right old go at it. Klopp was not very happy. Pep said something today, so none of the Spurs players said nothing.
Right now
they're going to come over the tannoy at the training centre. Ding dong. Harry Kane to Mr. Levy's office, please.
Well, they're not going to be going into the gaffer's office. He's younger than they are.
I know, but it's like the Simpsons and Mr. Burns. They're just getting if you can't be naughty, you end up at Mr. Levy's office.
Well, I do love seeing Ryan Mason there. For those who don't know, he's a 29-year-old former Spurs player who had to retire at the age of... He'd been at the club since he was like 6 years old, played for us and played for we until he was 26, and then he got a bad head injury, had to retire, but then has gone back to Spurs, done his coaching badges, and he was the head of our under-23s, the kind of development stage of things. And now... the day after tomorrow, as we speak now, he's going to be leading his boyhood club out as their manager at the age of 29 at a League Cup final at Wembley. I mean, that's Roy of the Rovers stuff, isn't it?
It is. And for that reason, I hope we
Yeah, for no other reason whatsoever.
I was at and this is for our non-Tottenham fans. This isn't about Tottenham. This is a kid's memory. This is a memory, right, of cup final memories. Everyone's, oh man, it'd be like seeing your team at a Super Bowl, or seeing your. I was at Wembley watching Tottenham. I had 2 tickets to the League Cup final, and
what year?
The Leicester final, 1999.
Cool. Yeah.
Is it 99? Yeah, 99.
Yeah.
And I decided to take my little brother. I don't know why. I just felt, because I had memories of my dad taking me to the UEFA Cup final. And so I thought that was kind of a defining moment in a young lad's sporting kind of life. So yeah, we were at Wembley, at the old Wembley. So yeah, I have that in my kind of memory banks. I went to watch my team in a final. Okay, it was only a League Cup, but it was still a final. It was at the old Wembley, and we won. And there was this like mad. I ended up about 6 rows in front of where we were sat, like on the floor. But where's my little brother? I'm like trying to work out what's going on. It was pandemonium. Absolutely brilliant. So yeah, who knows? Playing Man City though, we'll see.
We're going to get splattered. We're getting splattered. But you know what? Now that we're going to play good football, that I don't mind. We're going to give it a go at least.
Yeah, I hope. It could just be right. This whole thing that's going on in all of life that's going on right now. There could just keep being these mad things, like all this happened in a week. This happened in 72 hours. It's just TalkSport were laughing about the fact that they'd given some bloke the title of ESL correspondent. They gave it to him on Monday and Tuesday afternoon. So yeah, these things could keep happening. You know, Kanye and no, who's got divorced during lockdowns? Kind of just went quiet. One of the Kardashians and
right.
So you got all these things happening.
And I tell you what's even more depressing. The ESL has lasted longer than any conversation with any woman on a dating app that I've had all year.
Oh, Glenn, what's happening?
Don't know, mate. I don't know. I mean, I'm swiping, and just I'm getting nothing. I'm not going to be able to delete these things anytime soon.
What about my theory of it's a Maidstone thing?
What, as in you want to bring back UK Garage?
No, what if you were like in London or in more of a city?
No, my bracket involves London, so this isn't where we get to the stage of where do you live, and I say Kent, and they just blank me. This isn't even getting to that stage.
No, I mean so your like radius is
50 miles.
So not okay. So yeah, that's pretty much North London as well. Okay.
Yeah. I'm fairly okay with distance wise, but yeah, I'm going to keep going.
What's in the river?
I think I'm from North London.
Oh, cool.
Right now, I don't live south of the river. I live north of the Channel. North and East London are the only places that are worth knowing, really.
Okay, so here's my theory on and I can't unblur it. So here's my theory on dating apps and why they were so bad for me and never worked. Was I don't think they work. Basically, that's my theory. I also think there's like a universal kind of spiritual type force thing that unless if your vibrations are all off, then it ain't gonna happen, right? Okay, so there's something off right now for you, Glenn. Like the door is closed. The door is closed.
Okay.
Work out why the door is closed, and then you need to open the door in order for this flow of passion and love.
Yeah, you're saying I need to shove a crystal in my chakra.
I think it's more about it's in going on inside you. It's when we talk about vibration, it's what you're giving off. So yeah, you're what you're thinking about, what you're expecting, expecting things to go wrong,
I'm expecting a match. That's all I want. If I get a match, then I can start a conversation. I'm fairly okay with words. Yeah. Just come on, women, just match with me. Give me a chance.
Well, so yeah, I think that anyone who's a 7 above has been swiped right literally tens of thousands of times. So they're either now in a relationship, maybe all shagged out, maybe, or they've got such rich, or they're done. Like they're not even
mostly it is the odds thing. So average on any app is between 8 and 10 to 1. In terms of men to women, that's not talking about attraction. And for every attractive woman, it's probably more like 30 or 40 to 1. And I'm not saying physically attractive at all. Yes, that is a big thing with the visual nature of swiping apps. But any woman who is deemed attractive probably has 30 to 40 times as many men who would swipe on her as she would swipe on them. So she's getting every day dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of men swiping right on her. Yeah. And so even if she's swiping right on just a handful of them, it's analysis paralysis. She's got so many options. And of those, a massive percentage are going to be dicks. They just are. And so all she's going to see is there's a decent chance she's going to, just by sheer luck and numbers, she's going to miss the good ones and engage with the shit ones. And that puts her off.
Yes. So you're doomed on that front. So my theory, and it is kind of proven by my flourishing relationship, love life, girlfriend, that telling / asking other women that you know who's single that you could introduce me to, I think that offers a better chance.
If only I'd thought of this 4 years ago and hadn't spent 4 years asking my friends to set me up, and if only my friends had actually done that once, even once in 4 years, then I'd be able to say, yeah, you're right.
So maybe we need to go like 6 separations. So you need to say to me, Jonnie, what women do you know around this area that we live? I'd say, yeah, I do know some. Then I could say to them, do you have any single mates? Because I've got a single mate, because I no longer am single. I've got a single mate who is a dude and would be great.
I'm not asking for much. All I'm asking for is a part-time scientist, part-time lingerie model who always wanted kids but can never have them by herself.
And lives where, lives close.
Hey, for that woman, I'd get on a bus.
No, I know, but you can't be like an hour away. Surely hours the limit. Hours.
Genuinely, almost every woman I've dated over the past couple of years has lived more than an hour away. I think only 3 in that time have lived closer than that. But even if they live in sort of Clapham Common or something, that's still an hour, a quarter, hour and a half.
Yeah. Okay, so watch this space. Glenn and I are going to go on a mission, especially now we can go to the pubs again. So it's definitely happening. So we're going to go on. We're going to go to a pub. We're going to have pre-drinks at yours and finish off those 32 nearly finished bottles of spirits. Stumble into a local pub, meet said blind date, go for a pizza, finish with a food fight, and then I don't know.
And then go steal a submarine.
Steal a submarine, watch the football, and have a heart attack at midnight.
What a day. I'm in.
Hey, what a way to go as well. What a way to go. Glenn, it's good to hang out, buddy. We could be in multiple different places by the time we get together next week. So let's hope they're good. It's going to be my birthday in 3 weeks' time.
3 weeks, blimey.
May the 12th, Wednesday, May the 12th. 47. So hopefully we'll be League Cup winners. Hopefully we'd have filled the F5 Team Superdad members. If you're listening, the F5 May's intake of the F5 is filling up now. So come and get involved in the F5. My 12-week dad life booster, basically. It's absolutely brilliant. And if you've got any single attractive scientist model level women, sisters, friends, then put them in the notes. Tweet us at a dating dad, but keep it clean because the head of the civil service is now following Glenn.
Yeah, I'm going to do some soft blocking action. I can't be doing with this.
What a week! See, what a week! What a week!
Let's hope we survive another one, mate, so we can do this same time next week.
Yeah, well, the live. We're going to get some live. I'm going to get this podcasting thing out. Get my second pod mic, and we'll be recording from a Kent-based pub in just a few weeks' time. I've no doubt.
Can't wait, mate. Can't wait.
Good. Sleep tight. I'll see you on the other side. Team Superdad gang, thanks for joining us. Like, subscribe, share, and come and join the group. teamsuperdad.com/network. We'll see you there. Bye.
This has been Team Superdad. Find us at teamsuperdad.com. Join the program and create the best life ever for you and your children. You are not alone. You're on Team Superdad.